What makes a great life? In the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse number 7, it says, "Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his bride has made herself ready." Oh, that's interesting. His bride has made herself ready. Now we know the situation with Abraham, that it wasn't necessarily Abraham that could not have children, but it was Sarah that really couldn't. And until she became ready, she couldn't have any kids. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse number 11, it says, "By faith, Sarah had a barren womb. She was able to become pregnant, an old woman, as she was at the time, because she believed the one who made a promise that he would do what he said." So what I want to encourage you to do is to make yourself ready. What makes the great in life? How can you become something in life? People say to me, "Well, you know something, why would you want to be great in this life? We're going to be leaving and going home to be with the Lord." Well, that's true. That's absolutely true. But God never wanted his people to live in a place where his principles or his kingdom was not set up. He never wanted people to ever live in the midst of poverty. He didn't want people to live in a place of non-productivity. He didn't want his people to live with a government that just gave handouts to people, or even for those that think that they really deserve it. That's not really what Jesus really wanted for us. See, once upon a time, that the birth order was important. The socioeconomic positioning in life was important, but the status of life people considered, it was what determined a successful life. But lately, the focus has shifted. This focus has shifted, and some have perceived that as weaknesses, these things are people's strengths. They're the most important contributing factor to becoming all you were designed to be. Now, these traits are important. These traits that we're going to talk about, they're very important to every part of life, whether it be work or family, or even your relationship with the Lord or with your friends, because we need to make ourselves ready for God's kingdom. So what are these things? And that is, the first one is empathy. What makes the great a person who is an empath? What does that really mean? Well, it's not sympathy, because sympathy is just the formal showing of pity for someone else's misfortune. And it's not apathy, which is a lack of concern. But empathy is different. Empathy is your ability to be able to get out of your body and to slip into someone else's body, look out their eye gates, and feel the same way about the situation as they do. That's empathy. That's exactly what we need to make ourselves ready for being able to hear God's voice, for being able to be ready for his kingdom, because God looked down upon us. And when he looked down upon us, he had mercy upon us. He had empathy upon us. Jesus was easily touched with the feeling of our infirmities. Jesus is an empath. Number two, what makes the great is the second thing that they need is optimism. A person who's optimistic is actually confident in a successful outcome of anything. Now, blind optimism is baseless hope. See, but you want a successful outcome to what you're doing. You can't just be optimistic. Well, I got out of bed on the right side today, or I got out of bed on the wrong side. You have to be optimistic about something. True optimism must have a reason for its existence. So be optimistic, because that is what makes you ready. We have hope for the future. We know that all things are going to work together for our good because we love God, because we're the called according to his purpose. The third thing is forgiveness. What makes the great great? A person who knows how to forgive. Well, if you don't know how to forgive in life, take the time to learn forgiveness. And every day, I pray for God to forgive me my debts as I forgive my debtors. And so I want to know more every day on how I can do that. How can I forgive people? Because there's real power in letting go of something that just becomes almost that it's an obstacle inside your heart when you won't forgive. This forgiveness will foster something for you. It'll foster openness with people. It'll foster you being able to walk into a room and be lighthearted about it. Be forgiving, because that's what makes us ready for our Master Jesus.